In this video, I interview Chalene Johnson about how to grow your brand with Facebook Live, current Facebook trends, and the biggest mistakes that people make with live streaming. Coming up. Hey, what's up guys? Sean here with Video Influencers, helping you build your influence, income, and impact with online video. And today, I'm here with Chalene Johnson, who is a fitness celebrity, New York Times best-selling author, and really coach to entrepreneurs, helping people build their brands with social media. How's it going, Chalene?
It's going really good.
Awesome, thanks for coming back.
Well, thanks for coming over to my digs.
Yeah, happy to be here, and we had a great video with you a while back about Instagram, and so definitely we'll link that up. But in this video, we're gonna be talking about Facebook Live. And so kicking it off, why Facebook Live? Or actually before that, why Facebook in general?
Because everybody's there. You know, I think one of the things we struggle with as brands, as people who have a message, people who are trying to drive traffic to their website, trying to be heard, is, you know, which social media platform should I spend the majority of my time on? And there's so many new ones and new updates to existing ones that it's sometimes difficult to decide where to spend your time. But guaranteed, without question, like everybody is on Facebook. So it's where the people are.
I like that. And actually, I read recent stats that it's something like 1.86 billion monthly users on Facebook and something like a billion daily. Daily 1 billion people logging into Facebook. And now, a lot of times we're helping people with YouTube, but right off, why use Facebook to get, I mean, should even somebody who's focusing primarily on YouTube be paying attention to Facebook?
I think so. I don't think that you can deny the fact that they are a powerhouse that just continues to steamroll even smaller apps and absorb them. I think that Facebook is changing the landscape of what we're taking in for entertainment. And I just think if you're going to divide your attention and video is your game, there's just two places to be. It's YouTube and Facebook.
So good. Now then, second question is then why Facebook Live specifically, which would be going live, whether with some complex software or not necessarily tough to use from a webcam, but a lot of times from your phone.
Yeah.
Facebook live streaming, why should people be paying attention to that? And yeah, don't
even bother with expensive software, in my opinion. Just go live from your phone. That's what we want. We want real, we want authentic. You know, the reason why you want to use Facebook Live is because Facebook wants you to use live. Therefore, if you do them a solid by going live, they're going to do you a solid by pushing your content into the news stream. Okay, here's a wonderful statistic. My son just started a Facebook page for his brand like 3 weeks ago. And I said, go live. He goes, I don't have anyone who's following me yet. Like, is it really worth going live? I'm like, yes, because that's how Facebook's going to help you find people who need to like your page. And so he went live. He did a 30-minute video about how to use Snapchat. And when he was done, he was reading through the statistics. He goes, Mom, guess what? The people who like my likes have gone up 65,000%. I'm like, is that a number?
That's crazy, back in his analytics.
65,000%. I'm like, okay, well, if that's not convincing, I don't know what is. It's so hard to be discovered. So Facebook's saying, listen, people are afraid to go live for whatever reason. So if you've got the courage to do that, even if your content's just okay, Facebook's gonna do you a solid and put you in the newsfeed.
I love that. Now, for the influencers watching, they might have a variety of different channels. They could be, you know, vloggers, or they could have a cooking channel, they could have all these different things. So immediately, maybe they're wondering, okay, so I'll do that, but what kind of topics from my phone are gonna translate there? What are some ideas of how I could actually, what kind of content works and topics work with Facebook Live?
The stuff that works the best is that which is interactive. People like live a lot more than a static video they're watching after the fact that's been edited, because they can co-create with you. So the best way to do that is to pick a topic where you can bounce off the audience. And not all topics are meant for that. So for example, the great one you just gave was cooking. Those aren't going to do as well unless you're really truly able to answer questions while you're doing it. Ideally, when you plan your content, minimize the number of tips you have, because your audience is going to help you add tips to the number that you have just by asking questions that you wouldn't even think that they have. And that builds engagement, and that engagement increases your reach, and that's how you get found. I mean, it's how people will discover you.
That's huge. And even if you were like a vlogger or somebody, you could say, hey, on Saturdays, we're just going to do Q&A. We're going to do Q&A Saturdays. Go hang out with us on Facebook. That's a huge opportunity to connect with your audience in a different way.
It is about interaction.
What about length of videos? And so on YouTube, sometimes we think shorter. We might think 3 to 5 minutes, maybe 10 at the most. But what have you found is an ideal length when it comes to Facebook Live?
Great question. It depends. So there isn't a blanket answer. So let me give you some information so you can make an informed decision. What is your goal? So if your goal is to have greater reach and more engagement, the longer you stay live, the higher your views, your reach, and engagement will. However, if you've gone really long and you've spent some time rambling, going down rabbit holes, there are people who are going to be watching who are like, this person just doesn't get to the point. I don't have 38 minutes. I have 4 minutes. Blow me away in 4 minutes. So I will say, generally speaking, you want to go on at least 5 minutes because you've got to give people a moment to have their question formulated, to get up the courage to ask it of you, for you to see it and to interact with them. Be good for it. Whatever it is that you're doing, be good for it. I personally go long. So I have a hard time being concise, as you can probably tell. I'm just going to talk, and I'll take all those questions as they come. I deliver the meat of my content in the first 10 minutes, and then I kind of open it up to questions, and as long as people are still engaged and showing up and asking questions, I'll continue, and I can easily, by the time I get off a broadcast, have over 250,000 reached in one live broadcast for free. Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg. For free. Like, you can run a commercial for that. That crazy, blows my mind that you can reach 250,000 people for free from your iPhone in your living room. Like that, it's mind-blowing.
Okay, so now we've decided, all right, you've convinced me. I'm going to start doing Facebook Live. I know that I can just grab my phone. I don't need to make it complex. I'm just going to get my phone. I'm going to go live with my normal Pages app or whatever it is on my fan page. But now what are the tips? What are some things that I should know so that I can have the best broadcast possible?
Yes. Number one, planning. So you have to know what it is you're going to be talking about and what's the goal of the topic. Are you trying to drive traffic to your website? Are you trying to drive traffic to your YouTube channel and get subscribers? Because you want to plan your content according to your ultimate goal. Also involved in planning is your title. I mean, people, they see that you're live, but what does the title say? So the title needs to be enticing, and one of the best ways to do that is by using live in your title. You might think that seems like counterintuitive. People know it's live, but they don't. So you can say live chat with me. Things that let people know it's interactive, like taking your questions or discussing live, blah, blah, blah. After I've gone live, I go back in and I change that so that it's a title that they don't necessarily need me to be live. But when you're going live, in order to get viewers on while you are live, I like to use the word live in my title. And that's the very first step, is planning.
Now we're planning out our content. We hit that live button. What should we do? It's going to count down 3, 2, 1. And now we're on live.
Immediately. You immediately just assume that you've got their attention for about 3 seconds. The first thing you have to do is tell people why they should be watching. I mean, your very first sentence. Don't start with an introduction of who you are. Don't start with your credentials. And the worst thing you can do is start by saying, we'll get started soon. Like, yawn. No, you don't have time for that. No one has that type of time or attention span. So begin by saying, in this video, what I'm going to share with you are my best tips so that your Facebook Live increases subscribers, views, reach, and engagement. So that they read that and they're like, okay, that's what I need, and they're going to stay. After you've done that, you can introduce yourself, set your credibility, and then immediately interact, because that's why people want to be on live. We love live because we know it's not edited. Anything could happen. I can ask a question and you could actually say my name. That's exciting to people. Once you've done that, then you want to flow between you delivering the content and a little bit of interaction. So while it's important to interact, you don't want your viewers to take over the broadcast. I'm sure you've seen broadcasts like that before. I'm like,
definitely.
Please stop interacting. Please get to the point.
Yeah, if you start out and they say what they're going to deliver and you're on your way through it, but then if it starts going off track, you're like, I was waiting for those 5 tips you mentioned at the beginning or whatever it is.
I've seen too many broadcasts where I feel like it's an insider inside joke or inside conversation between the broadcaster and like one of their fans. I'm like, well, hello, what about the rest of us? So I try to pick questions that are coming through that are on topic. That's really important. And I also try to pick questions that I think have a general interest to the people who are listening, not just, you read all these comments, and sometimes that can be difficult to see a lot of comments coming in at once. You just got to get good at it. You can't allow your comments to take you off your game. And that includes the occasional troll, because they love live videos. It's one of the problems with live videos is that there are people who are so excited to throw you off your game, by posting rude comments, sexual stuff, other languages. Just ignore them, delete them, let your fans ignore them. But, at the end of the day, you just have to get used to knowing that that's probably a 12-year-old boy whose parents don't even know that he's online, and he's like, like so excited to be throwing you off your game. So don't give him that pleasure.
Don't feed the trolls.
Don't feed the trolls.
Okay, and so you've done that hook in the beginning, grab people's attention, and you talk about something I've heard you teach before, about also giving not a long kind of statement of credibility, but a brief statement of who you are, but also what your authority is on that topic. What are your tips there for crafting that kind of authority statement?
Memorize it, write it out in advance, and just memorize it. And remember that you have different authority based on whatever it is you're speaking about. So let's say that you are a doctor of physical therapy, and that's your expertise. And most of the time people are coming to you and to your channel to get tips on rehabbing muscles. But in this particular video, you want to talk about how you repaired your diastasis recti, this is a true example, the separation of your abdominal muscles when you deliver a baby. Okay, well, for this example, you might want to say, I'm a mother of 3 who's given birth to twins, and I personally have healed myself from diastasis recti, and I'm going to share with you how I've done that in this video. So you see, you don't have to go through like all of your credentials, but the credentials that relate to the topic you're discussing. Another example of that is, a lot of my experience relates to health and fitness, but I've also been very successful in helping others to build their online businesses. So it kind of depends. If I'm talking about health and fitness, then I might share my credentials as they relate, or even my experience as it relates to health and fitness. Just remember this. Don't be afraid to make yourself sound credible. If I don't believe I should believe you, I'm not going to watch. And we pick up on those cues from your body language, your vocal inflection. Like, I know a lot of people say they don't like their voice on camera, but work on it then, because this medium is so powerful. And if we're nervous because your voice has gone 5 octaves higher, then the person at home doesn't even know why, but we're a little nervous about your information. So work on your vocal inflection.
That's really, really good. And I think too, you might even just say, hey, this is, Sean and Sarah, and we vlog on the YouTube channel. That's all about building your family, because we believe family is everything. Some sort of a statement, your fitness thing. You've heard it here. We like to say, hey, what's up? My name's Sean Canon. My passion is helping people build their influence, income, and impact with online video. But I think it's so powerful to be able to say that concisely.
Yes.
And just kind of let people know where you're coming from, because Facebook Live is a chance to meet new people. We're talking about growing your brand.
Yes.
Meeting people you haven't met yet that could begin to follow you.
Practice it. I mean, I don't know if you've done that, but I've so said my intro, and I have a couple different intros that I use, but I've said it so many times that kind of relaxes me, because that's the one phrase I've memorized, and I've say it in your car, write it down, have somebody who's really good with words. Sometimes we're not great at making ourselves sound important, but I bet your best friend is. So let them write an intro for you and just memorize it. I
love that. So now you've done your intro, you've introduced yourself, you're going to share the content. But let's talk about calls to actions. Okay. How could you end, even if we're talking about why do a live stream, what would you want to do at the end and maybe have people do next? Maybe even give calls to action during.
Yes.
What are some things as far as, calling their audience and our audiences to do something next? What are some opportunities there?
Well, right off the bat, you've got to make sure that you realize that it is the co-creation that makes live video so popular. So you want to involve your audience immediately. Ask them right away, hey guys, I'm curious, how many of you have gone live? give me your answers below in the comment section. And if you haven't gone live right now, I'd love to know. In fact, I mean, we should be doing this right now. Like, for real, I would love to know.
Yeah, like let us know in the comment section.
Why? What's the fear? Like, is it your equipment? Is it you don't know what to say? Is it content? Is it you don't like the way you look? Is it that you don't feel like you have enough followers? Like, what's the reason? As people leave comments, especially on Facebook. Now, this is huge. Hold on. Are you ready? I hope you're about to write this down because this is huge. This is huge.
Okay, here we go.
What you want to get the most engagement and reach possible is for your commenters not to just comment, but to comment on each other's comments and to interact with each other's comments. That will take your engagement through the roof. How do you do that? You say things like this. So if you see that someone else has listed a comment or a reason why they haven't gone live and you agree with it, let them know so that they know they're not alone. Just leave them a little reply underneath, say, that's me, so that we all feel like we're in this together and you're normal. When you get your commenters to interact and comment with each other, it's like a game changer. You'll have so much greater reach while you're live. Another thing you want to do is make sure at the end, throughout the video, because people come in. So you're going to look at your stats once you've finished doing a live video, whether it's on YouTube Live, we just looked at ours, or on Facebook, we just looked at those there. It will show you the number of minutes that people remain in your broadcast. And you're going to be like, oh man, why did they leave? No one ever well, maybe my mom watches my whole video, but other than that, people are in and out. So it's okay to repeat your calls to action. It's encouraged that you, from time to time, recap your points that you've discussed or your credibility. And no one who's on the broadcast is going to get bored with that, but the people who have just showed up midway through, they're like, what are we talking about here? So another way to do that is make sure that you're peppering in your main call to action, which might be for that day. Hey guys, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you've turned on notifications. Maybe it's, guys, what I'm talking about today is how to plan the perfect Facebook Live video. And don't worry, you don't have to take notes, because if you go to, and you give them the name of your website, you can download a free checklist. So whatever it is, you need to repeat it throughout your broadcast, not just at the beginning or the end.
That's a great, great tip. Well, I want to hear some more tips and some mistakes, but we're going to take a break for the lightning round. Are you ready?
Yes.
This is your second lightning round. Oh. First, we need a sound effect and a human interpretation of lightning. Here we go. That's good timing. 3, 2, 1. Favorite beverage of choice?
Oh, lemon water with ginger and cayenne pepper.
Wow. Where did you meet your husband, Brett Johnson?
I tell my mom, the library. The truth is, a bar.
Mm-hmm.
I have some moves.
If you could only have one thing during a zombie apocalypse, what would that be? You could grab one thing on the way out to run.
Hairspray.
Okay.
I'm gonna look great, and I could start a fire with it.
Oh yeah. Oh, true.
It's flammable.
Oh,
you could spray it in their eyes to.
Yeah.
Can you kill a zombie?
Yeah, with a lighter, you could light them on fire.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, if I ever were to be in an apocalypse or go on Survivor, I'm bringing hairspray.
I wasn't bought into the answer at first, but by the end, I'm like completely convinced. I'm like, that's probably what I would want too. NYC or LA?
Oh, NYC.
Last song you had on repeat?
21 Savage.
Oh,
yeah.
Atlanta, right?
Yeah, I love me some gangster rap.
Honestly, Chalene has helped my rap
I am
game.
from Detroit, you know.
You actually can follow her on Spotify. She created a Shred the Gnar playlist that was a snowboarding playlist. But anyways, we might link that up in the description below. Favorite old school rap song?
Thinking of a master plan. Cause ain't nothing but sweat inside my hand. So I dig into my pocket, all my money spent. But I dig deeper and still coming up with length. So I stop my mission, leave my residence.
Pretty good. You killed that verse, pound it. Book every influencer should read.
How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
Podcast every influencer should listen to. And so you don't have to promote your own podcast. One of my favorites is your podcast, Build Your Tribe, which is all about building your brand online.
Thanks.
So then besides your podcast.
Can I give 3?
Give 3.
Okay. So I love Smart Passive Income with Pat Flynn, interviews on Lewis Howes' podcast, School of Greatness, and I love the interviews on The Art of Charm because Jordan Harbinger is freaking hysterical.
Number 1 tip, if somebody wants to start getting in shape, wants to start getting fit, but's kind of intimidated and feeling overwhelmed?
Get a partner. That would be my number one tip, is get a partner who's kind of at the same level of you, but that won't quit on you. That way you can do things that feel scary together. You keep each other accountable when you don't feel like doing it. You can motivate each other on the days when just aren't feeling like you're not making progress. That would be my number one tip.
Now, you've shared a lot with your audience, probably everything, but what's one thing maybe that you have never shared with your audience or anybody? Because we want the influencers to catch this nugget.
This year, the best investment, which was also kind of scary, was hiring a business coach, but a really different business coach, and just kind of like letting go. Because I think most influencers are used to being the person in charge and the person who's the know-it-all. So it felt like a step of vulnerability to hire someone to tell me how to do things better. But it's been the most rewarding and the best experience of growth, personal growth and business growth, that I have experienced in a long time. So that's one thing that we've done. It's really just somebody looking at what you're doing and going, wait, why? Or how about this? And it's been really cool.
I love that. One Netflix something that every influencer should watch.
The new documentary on Warren Buffett, and it's called Becoming Warren Buffett. Like, if I could take like one message away from it, it's that he just did things because they felt right.
One of the most embarrassing moments that you can remember.
Well, I was teaching as a celebrity fitness personality on a cruise ship, and it was day one, and I just wasn't used to this motion yet, and they put me up on stage, and there's all these like hundreds and hundreds of people on the deck of this boat, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna, and it wasn't because I was nervous, it was because I was seasick. And they're like, Chalene Johnson, and I waved, and I ran up on the stage, and I ran up off the stage. And then they thought that I was like doing something to be funny, and so they're like chasing after me. I'm like, go away, go away. And I had to run to the bathroom, and I kicked open the door as fast as I could, and just barely lost it in time. But it was so embarrassing because like a bunch of people had run in after me.
I love that.
Can a girl puke in peace, please?
That's what I'm saying, right? Well, that was a customized, some lightning, some not as lightning round complete. Pound it. Awesome, awesome. Well, kind of landing the plane on this Facebook Live topic, what are some of the biggest mistakes? Like, if there's a couple things to just make sure you don't do these when it comes to Facebook Live, the biggest mistakes you see people doing, what are some of those?
Poor lighting. Like, invest in lighting. We're visual, and Facebook Live, all live video, you need to look good. I'm not saying you have to have a full face of makeup on, but you want to show up as your brand is expected, right? And I know we like real, that's important, but it still needs to be lit. No matter how real it is, you want to light it so that if it's dark, we're just not drawn to it. Think about what captivates you when you're going through your newsfeed. It's like something that's someone who's like right up in your face. You can see a person. Make sure that, there's another big tip for you, is make sure that your thumbnail includes a picture, someone's face where it's like it's inviting or it's at least interesting, and not perhaps landscape, because we just don't know what that's about. Additional mistakes that people make, I would say, is that they try to read their notes as opposed to just being authentic. And
one of the ones you already mentioned, but it's a huge mistake, is take advantage of those first few seconds, right? Because you mentioned, don't waffle at the beginning, don't kind of whatever. That's when the rebroadcast are also going to be seeing. They're going to be jumping on right at those first few seconds. And I love that you mentioned that earlier, to go straight in with exactly what your topic is on YouTube.
Grab them. Immediately grab them. Say, hey, wait, don't go anywhere. You're going to want to see this video. And then once you finish going live, be sure to make sure that you add subtitles or captions to your videos, because most people are watching their videos on silent. So all they're going to do is read the first sentence. That's it. Your first sentence better be captivating, and you want to make sure it's subtitled, because we just don't watch videos on with the sound up until we decided it's going to be worth our while.
So good. Well, kind of lastly on Facebook is, what is your thinking for the rest of this year and some of the trends you're sort of paying attention to? Like, kind of what are you doing yourself that people could model? Are you trying to have a weekly show as it comes to Facebook Live? Or what are some of your thoughts?
I can tell you I'm not doing what I think you should be doing, and that's, I think you need to set a specific day and time to broadcast. Think of it as your free TV show and give it that structure. Some of the things I've seen, and I know that Facebook is developing, are finding programming that's exclusive to Facebook, kind of like reality TV. And I think that that can really be a game changer. If people knew the days and times that you were going to broadcast, I mean, that's huge. I'm giving you that advice. It's not advice I follow personally, only because life is crazy with my kids, etc. But I'm telling you, if you want to build your influence, give people not only content that they can expect, but a day and time that they can expect your broadcast. And you'll grow so fast.
That is awesome. Now, lastly, where can people connect with you? What do you have coming up? What's the best place for people to take action and learn more?
Awesome. I would say just visit the website, chalenejohnson.com, and that's where you can find links to my podcast, courses that I offer, and our blog is always loaded with great information. Plus, that's where you can find all of my social media channels. So that'd be the best spot.
I love that. I love that. And Chalene, I just want to really just kind of affirm you and thank you for your influence in my life. I started to listen to your podcast, Build Your Tribe, before video influencers even started. And it's been a huge shaping, not just for my channel, Think Media, for this channel, for everything we're doing online, for just business overall, and even for life overall. You and Brett have been a huge inspiration, influence in our life, and just want to thank you for that and everything you're doing to serve people and make a difference in the lives of others.
And you're a good snowboarder.
And so are you.
Thanks.
And so we shred the gnar together.
Shred the gnar.
Now, last final word of encouragement, just for people to really go out there, get into that, maybe overcome fear, to tap into some courage. Just final word to step out there.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. Just don't worry about things being perfect. Get out there, because somebody needs to hear your message as you're going to deliver it. And the more real you are, the greater advantage you have today. Live streaming is the way to go.
Just a little. It's not bad, but
where?
there's a tiny bit. It's not even bad.
I can't even see it.
Boom.
Thinking, how could I get some dead presidents? I need money. I used to be a stick-up kid, but then I think of all the devious things I did. I used to roll up, because there's a hole up. Ain't nothing funny. How's that?